What's up, everybody? It's your boy back with another reaction video, and I will be reacting to what is this? 3 disturbing real basement horror stories. I believe this is from the Mr. Nightmare. So I will have a link in the description so you can go to his page, show him some love, like, comment, subscribe. Y'all know what to do. But I was gonna say something. Oh, of course, this damn wires. Fuck, hate wires. Hate them, hate them. But anyway, I was gonna say something about basements because I've mentioned before that if you've seen any of my other reactions to like scary movies or these like, scary narrations or scary short films, I used to have a very very bad fear of the dark and thunderstorms. And I remember in the first house I lived in, I was a wee little lad. We had a very dingy, dark basement. Dirty. It was definitely used more so as a storage, place. And, reinforced concrete floors, stuff like that. And I remember we had you had to when you went down the stairs, you couldn't see into the basement from the upstairs because it was like a corner. So you had to like when you went down the stairs, when you turned the corner, then you could enter the basement. It was always pitch black in the uh, in the basement. What the light that was in the basement was broken. Like it wasn't just like the light bulb, the actual like wiring was messed up. Now the light bulb in the laundry room was fine, which was it was like the basement, the first room you walk in, and then the laundry room was like a small room in the back of the basement. What we just had, it was really just enough room to walk in there for maybe 2 people to be in there at the same time, and with those washer and dryers in there, and we had like kind of like a small table in there, so it was like if you walked in there, like the washer and dryers would be on your left, and like a very small, narrow table on the right. And I remember I remember once I went. My dad told me to get something, but I think he put like some pops or something down there, and he was like, "Go down and get the pop." So I go down, which I hated. Went down there, and somebody left the light on in the laundry. I don't know who it was. I don't know if it was my mom or one of my brothers, but someone left the light on in the laundry room. As soon as I walked around the corner went into the basement, the light and I saw a light in the laundry room. As soon as I saw it, it started flickering, and I like froze. I think I might have been like 4 or 5 around that age, and I like just stopped. And we just like, cause we moved out of that house. I think I was 6. Yeah, I was getting ready to turn 7 that year, but I hadn't turned 7 yet. And that light started flickering. And I just like, and because normally when normally when people have a fight or flight response, my response is flight. I will immediately run as fast as I can in the opposite direction. But for some reason that I froze, and I was just like, and then I started like trying to scan the basement, even though I couldn't really see anything. And it was almost like the light made it worse, but it made it even harder to see. And it was like in shadows, and I was like, luckily the pot was like right by the stairs, so I just grabbed it, ran back up the stairs. Hated going to that basement. Hated it. Plus we had rats, so hated that. And this is we had like because people have mice, and they're usually very timid animals. You have rats, and up in Chicago. Them motherfuckers are not like New York rats, kind of, where they'll look at you like what the fuck you doing? I remember I opened a drawer once in that house, same house. This is when this happened to me, and then it happened to my dad. He told me that was the moment. He's like, we gotta move. I opened the drawer, and I don't even remember what I was looking for. It was in the kitchen. I opened the drawer. It was it two? It was two rats, might have been three, in the drawer. They didn't try to run, nothing. One of them, I remember one of them looked up, like at me. And they just sitting there, and then went back to what they were doing, like sniffing, like they was trying to smell something. And they were trying to find something. I just slowly closed the drawer and just went back what I was doing. I was like, what I was looking for is not in there. And my dad, I remember, this was years later. My dad told me, he said that happened to him. I didn't know that happened to him. He said that's why he made the choice that we had to move. Oh man, them rats, boy, out there. Because now you see signs. Even back then, they would have signs up. There's a beware of rats. a rat on it. And it's a do not, like you see one, do not approach it, a rat. Because some of these rats, they will chase you and shit. And rats, like when you see a rat, a lot of them don't give a fuck. Like some of them are timid, but a lot of them, they don't give two shits about you. As long as you don't fuck with them, they won't fuck with you. Usually, unless they feel threatened, obviously. But yeah, that's my basement story. I have some other instances, but it was just more like it was dark. I couldn't see. I heard a noise in the basement, ran back up the stairs type things, but no real stories where I was in the basement and somebody stood up on the far side of the basement or anything like that. Anyway, let's get into this. All right, here we go. So yeah, my basement looked like you couldn't see it like that. It was like a corner, so it was like it would have been like right there would have been a wall at the bottom. I stepped in and it was like you had to go around a corner.
When my grandparents passed away, instead of my parents selling our house, they just let me live in it instead since I was of moving out age anyway. I just had to pay the taxes and monthly expenses. At first I really enjoyed living alone, given that I could have whoever I wanted over whenever I wanted. But it quickly got lonely being alone. So I got myself a 2-year-old German Shepherd dog named Rocky. He was named after Rocky Balboa.
Yeah,
Rocky's a very calm and gentle German Shepherd. He hardly ever barks, only when he feels threatened or if he's playing with another dog. I bought him a doggy bed the day after I adopted him and put it next to my bed. After I got Rocky, I always left the bedroom door open so that he could go get water at night if he were thirsty.
I hate leaving my bedroom door open.
One night, soon after I adopted Rocky, I woke up to
the
his
hallway is
coming
pitch
from
black.
outside my
I
room
can't
and
see.
down the hallway.
That
I
scared
easily
me.
got
That
out of
dog
bed to
started
check
barking.
what the hell he was barking at. I
like
rubbed my
jumped
eyes as I
inside.
walked down the hallway, and when I opened them, I saw Rocky maniacally barking and clawing at the basement door. I didn't know what to do. Usually I'd call my dad to deal with something like this, but now it was on me.
He said it was a German
I was
Shepherd.
terrified. I had to ask myself if I wanted Rocky to go down there with me.
Cause that's definitely a good
dog.
dog to have.
There was no chance of me going down there alone.
You said German Shepherd.
I opened the door ever so lightly, but it was enough for Rocky to push it open with his nose and run down the stairs. I flipped on the lights and followed close behind. Rocky was silent now, which I found a bit concerning. I looked around for him, calling his name,
nice basement.
and then I saw him standing still, with his tail between his legs, looking up at something in an opposite corner of the room that was blocked by a wall. Rocky looked at me, and his tail slightly raised as I approached him. I could now see what he was looking at. It was a closet door.
Of course.
Rocky's apparent bout of confidence was obviously short-lived, and he seemed to be back to his calm and timid self. All that was passing through my mind at that moment was, Do I dare open this closet door right now?
No.
And who or what could be in there? I didn't know Rocky too well just yet, but I had a feeling he wouldn't attack whoever or whatever was in there. I'm still not sure whether I made the right move or not, but instead of opening that closet door, I took Rocky by the collar and walked with him back upstairs.
Smart.
He kept looking back at the corner of the basement until we got to the stairs. I shut the basement door and then dragged him back to my bedroom and shut the bedroom door. Then I went to the kitchen to call my dad. I had to call 3 times before he finally picked up in a groggy voice.
Nice kitchen.
I explained the situation and asked him what I should do. He said I should go back down there with a huge knife or some kind of weapon and see what's in the closet.
What?
I told him I was too scared to. And somewhere deeper into that conversation with my dad, I realized the basement door was open.
Oh, God. Wait a minute. Okay, so the basement door open, we there. This dude's dad told him to get a large kitchen knife and go back down the basement. Your dad's trying to get you killed, son. You don't know who this is. You don't know what they have. You don't know their intent. You don't know shit. All you know, you feel that somebody's down, but the basement door's open, and so I guess he is confirmed that someone was down there. I don't know why he didn't lock the basement door, unless he couldn't lock it. But your dad trying to get you killed. Your dad is an idiot for saying that is the dumbest fucking thing to say. Damn it! I said I was gonna try not to curse as much. That was the dumbest thing to say. To your kid, like, go down. Your kid's by himself. He said he think somebody is in the basement. Or something is in the basement. He don't know what it is, but it stirred the dog up. It could be, we don't know. It could be a home intruder or whatever. And your dad's to go down there, just with a knife, and like, first I'd have been like, just call the police. Like, if you think someone is in your house, you hear noise or whatever, or he didn't even hear anything, his dog started barking. But people call the police all the time with just things they see. My brother's a cop, and when he was on patrol, he said most of the calls they got were because someone thought they saw suspicious behavior of somebody, or somebody kept walking in their yard, or somebody jumped their fence, or somebody walked from instead of, because this happens a lot in Chicago, where someone, because the houses are very close together, and someone who doesn't want to walk around the block to the other block, they'll just walk through they'll walk through side of people's houses, which you have to go into their backyard and then exit their backyard into the alleyway. But normally it's like the block of houses, alleyway, and then the next block of houses. But yeah, your dad's a fucking idiot. Play
the phone down for a second to listen to what I thought were footsteps, and I was right. Loud and clear were footsteps heading towards the front door. I ran to my bedroom and told my dad. He told me to hang up the phone and call the cops, so I did. By the time the cops showed up, though, whoever was
I'm surprised he didn't tell him, chase him down with the knife.
Unfortunately, I left a large amount of cash down there by the bar.
What?
All of it was gone. The basement window
You're
was
an idiot
wide
too.
open, so we found the method of entry pretty quickly. Just turned out to be a break-in burglary when I happened to be home.
You left a big thing of cash on the bar. Why?
This story took place just 2 weeks ago. I've always had a fear of basements since I was a kid. Now that I'm 18, my fear is obviously subdued a little bit, but I still will glance over my shoulder to any noise I may hear behind me. And I might get that slight butterfly in my stomach feeling when I'm alone. Well, on this cold Friday night, I was home alone, and since our biggest TV is in the basement, that's where I'd usually chill. Especially to play video games.
That's like most basements I've been in.
I was playing Fortnite with my friends, some crazy popular first-person shooter.
It's just enough
I had headphones in
walkway
and I
for you
was
to
really
walk
invested
through
in the
and
game.
hitting your
Yet
shoulders on
even over
stuff.
the loud sound effects through the headphones, I knew I heard something come from behind me, like a thump.
Oh boy.
I took off the headphones and examined the back of the basement. Now our basement is huge, but also extremely cluttered and messy. If I wanted to actually thoroughly examine what's behind me, I'd have to get up, that's how bad it is. But I didn't feel that were necessary. Yeah, I found it a bit unsettling any time I heard a noise, but I really didn't think it was anything to be concerned about.
No, you didn't.
I tried to continue playing.
Let me guess,
However,
you
I
were
wasn't
wrong.
able to give my full focus anymore. Not with part of me constantly thinking about the noise. I took off the headphones and played with them off just because I was feeling extra paranoid and wanted to hear my surroundings. Shortly after taking off the headset, there was a sudden clank sound, and it had a metallic, echoey ringing to it.
Anytime I play with headphones on, I'm in an area like that.
I turned off the
I always
system
have
though
them like
because I was in
this.
shock. This was an intentional sound made by someone or something. I walked really, really slowly to the backside of the basement. When I laid eyes on the big metal air vent in the corner,
Even though I hate playing
that's when
with
it hit
headphones
me,
on.
that was most likely the source of the sound. I got as close as I felt comfortable, then stopped and just looked at the air vent for a second. I got a terrible, painful feeling in my stomach, and I felt like the life was literally being drained out of me when I saw a hand reach out from the air vent and start waving me over. Then a deep, raspy voice said, "Come here, I need help." At first, I didn't run.
How about, yeah, you do, but you ain't gonna get it from me.
I stepped backwards with my mouth hung open, looking at the vents.
The fuck?
The person's hands gripped the vent and started shaking it aggressively, obviously trying to break it open. I screamed, "I'm calling the cops," but the shaking didn't stop.
Well, yeah, they clearly don't care. They see.
I did what I said. I called the cops and told them to send someone right away. The operator told me to go to a room upstairs with a weapon, lock the door, and hide. I was the most scared I'd ever been in my entire life. And the pain and fear of the situation only became worse when I heard a door bust open downstairs, and I could hear a maniac screaming at the top of his lungs.
Oh, this motherfucker's crazy.
I'm not lying when I said he was screaming things like, "Where are you? I'm gonna kill you." I heard him run up the stairs. He probably ran up 2 stairs for every step, because he was up the stairs in like 3 seconds. My heart was in my throat when he tried the doorknob to the door, and started pounding on it so hard I could see the door caving in a little bit.
Damn.
I thought he was actually gonna break the door down. I had to climb out the window or I'd be a goner. I think he heard me though, because the banging stopped. I jumped from the window to the bushes below, and with the right stroke of luck, a cop car pulled up in front of my house. I basically ran into the officer's arms, begging them to go inside and get the man. They told me to wait in the police car, which they locked, while they both went inside the house with their guns drawn. Not even 5 minutes later, the 2 officers came out, and they were holding the man in cuffs.
I thought you were gonna say I heard several gunshots.
The man in cuffs took my place in the back seat of the cop car, and from that moment until the cops drove away, he was giving me the most evil, hate-filled stare you could ever imagine. That stare still haunts me.
It was this guy,
the whole
the
experience
actor.
still haunts me. I still hang out in the basement occasionally, but nowhere near as much.
You know, I read about that how you get those scars from where he's from. I think he's Ireland. That gangs do that. Cut scar those like
the story
Joker,
I'm about to tell you
like,
is a series of blurry memories from when I was a little kid and we were living in our old house. My brother and I always hung out in the basement where our dad has his hockey table, pool table, and video games. We usually played on his Super Nintendo system, but at some point, I don't remember when it started, my brother and I would hear things come from the boiler/laundry room. The first time this happened though, my brother and I were playing some racing game on Super Nintendo. That was when we both heard it. The door to the dryer slammed shut.
Trying to think of the game.
We knew that's what the sound was.
What game it could be.
We both called out Mom.
It sounded like a dryer door
there the whole time without us realizing. But the room was dark and empty of any people. When we realized this, we both ran upstairs screaming for our parents, leaving everything downstairs still on. Our parents came down to humor what they probably thought was just our dumb childish antics, and nobody was in the laundry room. Moving along probably a few months, I was awake late one night for whatever reason, walking to the kitchen, passing the basement door, and remember hearing the TV downstairs turn on. It was one of those big old box TVs, so it made that distinct clicking sound as it turned on. I called
I know
Mom, Dad, and my brother's name. No one answered. I went to my parents' room to tell them, and they were both upset with me for waking them. My dad went downstairs to turn off the TV, and I remember him telling me it's a glitchy TV. There were a couple other suspicious happenings after that, but
Okay,
I'll move
this
forward
story
all the way
sounds
to the
more like
last occurrence, and honestly the most
supernatural shit.
horrific. It was a few days before we were going to move to our new house. Just about everything in the house was already shipped to the new house, but our parents were nice and let us keep the TV and video games downstairs until the last few days. My brother and I were once again playing video games. That's when I felt something hit me in the back of the head. I thought it was my brother at
It was a
first,
bullet.
but then saw the red ball bouncing on the ground behind the couch we were on. Then the door to the boiler room slowly shut as my brother and I looked at each other with horrified looks on our faces. Once again, we ran upstairs screaming. Our parents once again went downstairs, but when they came back up, they were strangely silent. They told us to go to our rooms and wait there. A while later, a police car showed up, but our parents wouldn't let us out of our rooms. They wouldn't tell us what happened until we finally moved. Apparently, my dad tried to open the boiler room door, but something was holding it shut, or perhaps pulling it shut. Even so long ago, I could sense fear in my dad's voice explaining it. I don't believe in ghosts, but to this day, I still don't know what to make of what was going on in that basement.
I guess he called the cops, but apparently they didn't find. Really? Apparently they didn't. Oh, stop. Apparently they didn't find anything. It's still recording. All right. Hopefully the audio didn't stop. I was recording something yesterday. Damn, it recorded like the first 3 minutes of audio, and the other 30 minutes was just off. But yeah, that last one seemed more like is more like a supernatural type thing. I didn't get a, oh well, there was a homeless person in there or something like that. But yeah, but that other story, that first one, that is so dumb. I would never tell my kid if I don't have children, but if I had a kid who was an adult and they called me saying I think somebody's in the basement of my house or whatever, or whatever it is. I think someone's in my backyard, or someone's in my tool shed, someone's in my attic. I am not going to. You go in there with a knife, and you get them out of it. Like, what? If anything, if I don't tell them to call the police, even if I tell them to call the police, I'm gonna say that I would still go there. If we live in like close, especially if we live in the same, city, or we live, not less than, well, no more than 30 minutes away. Then I'm like, hey, I'm like, call the police, and I'm on my way. Something like that. I wouldn't go down there with a knife. Even if I couldn't get there, I'd be like, call the police. Don't go down unless you have a gun. Don't go down there with a knife. Like, don't go down there with a knife. Nothing like that. Like, cause what if you don't have? What if this person can? Let's just say they can see. Like, you have a type of closet where they can see out, but you can't really see in. But they can see you like walking up to it, and they have a gun, and they just start shooting through the door. Now what? Are you tough now? Like what? Like that was so dumb. For his dad, it's like, I don't know why that's bothering me. I'm like, why would you tell your son to go? I wouldn't tell anybody that. No, my what's the name just like like my computer, everything like froze, and OBS like went away for a second. I was just like, oh. But yeah, what would you tell your son? That was dumb. But what was the other story? Uh, oh yeah, the guy beating on the doors and he's gonna kill him. Now that was what it could have happened with the other guy, but the first one was just someone robbing. And also, where the fuck you leave money on your bar in the basement? Like, that don't even make sense. Like, I'm gonna leave. That's the same thing when I see people where they put they wallet and their car keys on the table uh next to their door. They have like maybe a table or a dresser or something or whatever. Like they next to their door and they put their car keys and wallet or they put their purse or whatever right there and leave it there. I was like, why would you? Yeah, if someone breaks in, that's the first place a lot of people look is right next to either places where you first go into. So people leave their wallet right here. Like I have my wallet. I take my wallet out in my bedroom and put it on my dresser. So and my keys the same way. I don't leave them, downstairs and shit. So, like leave them so far away from you. That was dumb. So the son was fucking up too. But the other one, that's like one of the worst things that could happen. Like a crazy person comes in your house and they want to kill you. They don't want to rob you. It's not like, oh, someone broke in and they thought no one was there or something and they try to attack you or something. But it's like this person actively broke into my house to kill me. You know, that is, and they're like trying to break down doors and shit. They broke down the basement door, and then he said it was like his bedroom door was starting to like buckle in from him beating on it, and then the dude was just staring at him, just like when the police were taking him away. That's scary. And like I said, the third one seemed like it might have been something supernatural. Maybe. I don't know. He said his parents seemed disturbed, but I guess his dad would probably be disturbed. Like he was trying to open the back door or one of the doors that led into whatever part of the basement, and it felt like somebody was preventing him. But like it didn't feel like it was locked. It felt like something was like when it like slightly because you can feel when you open the door when you try to open the door you can know when it's locked or not. But when someone is holding it, it feels different, you know. Especially if like you pull it and it kind of budges a little bit, but it won't pull them out like you feel like somebody pulling it back. That if I was a dad, I'd be like, as soon as I felt that, I would have let go of that door and backed up and and looked as I would have already had a weapon on me. But if I would have went down there, but I backed up, told my wife, hey, go back upstairs. Like no, like fuck that. Like that's what they for. Shit. They got the guns. They got the training. Um, they got the bulletproof vests and shit. Like oh yeah, you don't have a gun. If I have a gun, then yeah, I go there. Like hey, come out of there. I'm just gonna put two. I'm gonna put two bullets in the door. I can replace the door. And if I call the police, like, hey, tell them what happened. I discharged my weapon. I thought somebody was in there. I don't know what would happen if you discharge a weapon. You think you hear something, or you think someone's in your house, and they're in a closet or something. You tell them to come out of your door, you just shoot through the door, and no one's there. When did you get in trouble for discharging your weapon? Because my dad accidentally shot. He accidentally shot his 30-30 Winchester, which I don't know what he was. I think he said he was just fiddling around with it or something, and accidentally my dad had like arthritis, so his hands are like this. Like he can't do this. His hands are always like this, and I think he was pulling, like rubbing the side of the gun or something, and his finger caught the trigger and pulled the trigger and shot through the arm of the chair he was in. And I think he said he called the police before somebody else. He called and said, "Yes, what happened?" Told him what happened, and I think he said someone came out just to be sure that it was that that is the case, but he didn't go like to jail or anything because it and nothing like because he was on the bottom floor, so it hit the arm of the chair, and I want to say it hit the arm of the chair, went through the arm of the chair, went through the metal of the chair, and then it hit the floor. But he never got like in trouble, so I don't know if you do that, will you get in trouble for it? But anyway, I've been talking for too long, so hope you all enjoyed my reaction. If you did, make sure to hit that thumbs up button down below. Make sure to subscribe if you're new here. Hit that bell or you'll be notified when I upload new videos. Comment down below. Share this video. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.